Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to S&M Iracing Motorsports from the beautiful Talladega Superspeedway. Qualifying is underway. Some guys are taken to the track, and we are going to go ahead and introduce everything. Oh, we got a huge wreck in the back. Alrighty, as we are back, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, D&D Graphics, for putting this thing on. Once again, out there, can paint all of your guys' cars. As you'll go through tonight's event, we'll show you some of those cars that are painted. He does all kinds of work. If you want realistic looking cars, you want crazy looking cars, ones with your sponsors, one with your logos on it, check out D&D Graphics. He's got hats and t-shirts getting ready to go out for these guys. As the merch will become available to these drivers, Evan Perry's going to set up a podcast, so we might get a look at some of the awesome work that he does. But if you guys are just looking for something for your league, check them out, D&D Graphics. Well, right now we have what appears to be a beautiful sunrise over at Talladega as these guys are wrapping up qualifying. As it looks like your pole sitter is going to be Trevor Haley for this one. But before we get started and the drivers take the grid, let's go and take a look at what has happened this week over the last couple broadcasts.
You better find something to do quick because Bowman is doing his normal thing. He's going to try to push the 12 car out there. When does he make his move? He makes it now. The 12 goes for the block. The 12's going to run him down to the apron as we come side by side. The 8's going to get it done again. Nick Bowman. The Dark Horse Boys. We got the S&M CEO and James Smith. Can he be the steal as they come at a turn 4 into the tri-oval? The 8 is pushing the daylights out of the 12. There goes the move. There goes the move. The 8 to the inside. He's got the momentum. The one's looking at the 8 car. Nick Bowman, Mr. Talladega, is going to win yet another one here. Zachary Cato on the inside. He's got a big push from the 12 car. The 48 is laying on the back bumper of the 1 car. Zach Cato's going to have the lead as they come through 3 and 4. James Smith on the outside. Zach Cato on the inside. The 48's bobbing and weaving. Can the 12 car stay cool enough to get him there? As they come to the finish, it's going to be James Smith going across the line with a great run for Michael Wiley and Zach Cato. On the last lap, Tommy Rogers on the outside. He needs the 98 to get there. It looks like Ryan Wilson's going to turn under his teammate. That's not what they needed. They needed to stay in line. Kevin Dixon shoving the daylights out of the out of the 12 car, but that could put them in a really bad spot. They are pretty far out. That might give the 98 or the guys on the bottom a huge run coming back as you see them separated. That is not going to help us. Tommy Rogers is going to make another move. Mike Wiley's going to move up and grab his teammate, leaving poor Tommy by himself. But here comes Billy Rickett. They're coming off turn 4. The 009 on the back bumper of the 12. They're heading into the travel. When does the 009 make his move? He shows his nose to the outside. Here comes Kevin Dixon, the outside. The 48's going to make it 3 wide. It looks like it's going to be Trevor Haley at the line. Alrighty, as we come back to Talladega, your drivers are going to take the grid, but let's get this thing started with tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's past gleaming broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular of Mossberg singing up, gay through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Welcome back to Talladega as the drivers are taking the grid. Let's look at the info for well, I should say tonight, but they're racing in the morning. It is 65 degrees out. The track is nice and cool, which should increase grip and speed around the 2.66 mile super speedway of Talladega. Here we go. We're going to get our starting grid up here. Trevor Haley's going to sit on the pole by 1/1000th of a second over Blaine Snyder. James Smith in the 001 will start P3. Kevin Dixon outside roll number 2. Peyton in the number 17 Dark Horse Motorsports car. He will roll off 5th place. Troy Baker, Roger Buff, Sean Stamper, Justin Lee, Pearson, Keith Basham. Rounds out the top 10. Alex Lieball, in the 11th position, and Jerry Fassett from my home state of Pennsylvania will roll off 12th as we continue to go through the grid. We have John Miles, Chris Waldron, Jay Bryson, Christian Brannon, Brad Ream, Jacob Gibson, Fred Anderson, Casey Elliott. That threw me off for a second. Myself, I did not qualify, and Stephen Baird, but you can see just how close the qualifying efforts were. Up until 9th place, it's less than 1/10 of a second. It looks like we are going to have a small delay. We might have some packet loss issues here as some of the drivers are still getting ready to take the grid. So we get a look at the pace car's front bumper. That's not the camera we want. Let's go ahead and move this thing a little bit. Well, it's not going to be nice to us. So we're stuck. Look at it. Looks like our P1 pole sitter will be, there he is. He's on the grid now. Trevor Haley in the number 12 Pennzoil machine. Blaine Snyder on the outside in the 11 Denny Hamlin looking scheme. As we get a look through the field, James Smith in the 1 car right there. Kevin Dixon to his outside as Peyton in the 17. We still have some guys. I know Trading Paints was having some issues earlier. I'm not sure if the iRacing servers are having similar issues. It looks like, though, we are getting ready to roll as the cars start to move forward. We'll bring up our live ticker here as the cars start to pace around this 2.66 mile super speedway. We have 80 laps around the super speedway. Tonight we are doing our usual stage racing. Lap 30 and lap 60 will be our 2 stages. The stage winners will be posted to all social media platforms as well as focused on here during the race this evening. The top 5 is always posted. We try to get the top 5 in here every single night for some driver interviews at the end of this thing, including a couple guys we just want to give some shout outs to as the pace lights are off in the truck. So we're going to do one pace lap around and we're going to get this thing started. Not as big of a field tonight. We restricted out the rookie class. We try to keep it to the guys that we usually go. We had a little bit of a wild one last night. Friday night's main may be password locked out, so join the Discord, get in here, race with us, showcase off your talents, and we will get the password to everyone wanting to drive. If we can get 25 to 30 signed up, we will password lock this thing out so we have some awesome racing. Our normal drivers usually put on a great show, as you saw in that little highlight video. As we get ready, they're rolling through turn 3 here at Talladega. The only guy I don't see, and he was having some internet connections, it looked like maybe he didn't qualify. There he is. Mr. Talladega will start in the 26th position, the final spot on the grid, which is a relatively short field for us. We're usually up around the 40-plus cars, but it is a Tuesday night. It is cold out as the pace truck pulls off. Your pole sitter will get ready to go in the Geico restart zone. Our rule is the leader has to the end of the Geico restart zone to go. If you are not getting gone by then, the outside row is free to leave without you. Trevor Haley's a veteran. He knows that. He will get this thing wound up as we get ready, and we are green flag from Talladega. Trevor Haley leads them down the back straightaway heading into 3 and 4. We should have, now I'm going to put the broadcaster's jinx on it, but we should have a lot of green flag racing tonight with a smaller field. A lot of veterans of the series are in here. It looks like we already had one guy, John Miles, get caught up in something. He may have accidentally downshifted instead of upshifted, throwing his RPMs through the roof and blowing the motor of that thing. However, we have unlimited fast repairs. Damage is on, but you do have to go and pit to fix your damage, which will play into your strategy all night long. While we're talking about strategy, these drivers only have 40% of a fuel load on board, so with stage racing, you will see green flag pit stops. We stay caution-free for the first 5 laps of every event and stage because we promote green flag racing instead of guys doing just some wild moves and just following the pace car around all night. We don't want to do that, so the first 5 laps will stay green flag. If there is a wreck, the yellow flag will come out. However, we only are going to throw 1 yellow flag in the first and second stage. They want to have green flag racing. They want to have green flag pit stops. They want to make strategy a part of this thing instead of just holding the throttle down and going around this super speedway. A lot of ways to move around and gain track position in here. It looks like your top 4 or 5 are set on staying right where they are, riding, trying to settle in. The 31 and the 3 are going to try to get this inside lane going with Zach Cato and Barry Ream in a 34 car tonight. We have an AWR car. I don't see Kyle Cameron in here tonight. I believe himself and the SMT boys are in a league race tonight on another server. Good luck to those guys as they go around. That's usually about a 5 or 6 or sometimes a 10 car team coming in here every night. So that also helps increase this this field size as they go around. We got a little separation here, a little further back in the pack. Looks like Stephen Baird is in here with Kyle Manos and Alex LaBall. They're going to be leading the second pack. Well, it's a 3-car pack, but it is still a pack nonetheless. If they can stay side by side, maybe another one of these guys falls back with the draft around this super speedway. If the leaders stay side by side, they will and can catch this lead pack, as it looks like we had one car. Ricky Miles is having some issues. Looks like he caught the outside wall. John Miles, Casey Elliott has already backed out, or is on. Okay, the 21's on pit lane. John Miles is trying to get back going. Ricky Miles, he's going to have to tow right from the end of pit lane, but luckily that car won't take long to get there. While we are going through the rest of the rules for the evening, under all yellow flags or stage breaks, all the drivers are free to get their laps back. We want as many cars on the lead lap, everyone who joined and sat through practice, to have a chance to go and win this thing at the end. If they get caught up in something early, we don't want to have guys just drop out of the race as the yellow flag is out. There it is. There's your lap 5 caution. It always comes out in turn 4, allows the pace car to take off right away instead of the leaders having to come all the way back around and catch the pace car, where really you're not starting your yellow flag sequence until lap 6 or 7, as you see the pace truck coming out of turn 2. The other things, like I was touching on earlier, you're always free to get your lap back. You just have to call out before you stop in your box to get the black flag cleared for either passing under yellow or passing the pace car, to keep everyone on the lead lap at the end of this thing. As Trevor Haley continues to lead, Blaine Snyder is still riding in P2. James Smith, Kevin Dixon, so no movement from the original top 4. Peyton has dropped back 1 position from the start. Keith is up 5 positions from his starting spot. As we'll go through the field, we'll try to find some of our biggest movers so far of the race. It looks like the man in the 6 machine is up 12 positions from his starting spot, riding around the 14th position. And the biggest loser so far, well, he is not on the racetrack right now, which would make sense of why he has lost so many. But it looks like Christian Brannon is going to be down 9 spots. Trevor Haley and the leaders are on pit road. Here they come. It's going to be, again, a strategy call. Do you take right side tires? Do you take the extra time now to, on your green flag, stop? Try to save some time. Under green, just taking lefts. Do you just take a splash of fuel? You're only 5 laps in, so I have a feeling a lot of these leaders are just going to be fuel only and getting out of Dodge. As you see, Cato has already made the move. The 12 car is going to get beaten out of pit road by the 11 and the 009, so he's going to fall back to 5th. Peyton's going to get his spot back. James Smith is -2. Well, it was only 5 laps, but the 12 car, being the leader, probably ate up just a little bit more fuel than everyone else. He may have had to sit on pit road for an extra second. He may have slid the box a little too far. Didn't look like it, but nonetheless, it's only 2 spots and it's Talladega. You can make that up in about 100 feet going around this racetrack. So as of now, Blaine Snyder is going to be P1, Kevin Dixon, Trevor Haley, Peyton in the P4 spot, and James Smith is going to be your top 5. 3 cars going around. They're going to get their lap back. I believe we only have 2, maybe 3 a lap down. They should already be going around the racetrack and getting their laps back. As we get a look at Fred Anderson back here in the 94 machine. He has been here most of the week and last week with us, along with Stephen Baird in that Mayhem number 3, and I just noticed that he has the 6.9 after that, so the Dale Earnhardt style number 3, and he's got the 69 next to it, so the 369. And so far, Zach Cato and Nick Bauman are tied for the biggest movers of the race so far. Nick is up 14 spots from his original starting position. The 87 is down 10. He may have pulled a strategy call. He said, I'm in the back already. I'm just going to go ahead and grab 4 fresh tires and maybe under green flag. He does not take any tires and just grabs fuel to try to increase his track position as they go. Christian Brannon also back here in his number 61 Red Bull cars. You see the cars that were a lap down start to make their way back to the back of the pack. He's actually down 2, so he's going to go around again. Let's see if we could get a look at what may have brought the yellow flag out. I know there was a couple things on track. over the course of the start. It was a little further in the back. Let's take a look at one of the incidents that may have happened. This is Ricky just coming to a stop. He's already been involved in something. Let's take a look at, let's see if this is the one. Well, that is just, it's just because his car is so bottomed out, it is just continuously saying he's crashing. Let's see, we rewind here a little bit. He's just, there's no steer. You see, I can't believe he even made it that far around the racetrack. There is literally no front steering. Oh, here we go. We found it. Let's see what goes on here. The 60 with a 94 gets under the 61. He's going to come down and collect the 25. And yep, Christian's just going to come back up the track. Ricky Miles nowhere to go. A huge hit for both those drivers at 21. That was one of the cars busy getting his laps back as well. The whole right front tire is gone on the 61 machine. Bauman actually gets into it, locks it down, gets a little sud. That's going to hurt the 21 probably more than it hurt the 8 car. As we'll get back to the front of this field as the lights are still on in the pace car, so I'd be curious to see if anybody from the back jumps down pit lane. Somebody like Brad Ream maybe try to go down there and get that little extra splash of fuel to see if he can get himself in a better position. Coming to the end of the stage, it looks like he's from Indiana. Our CEO, James Smith, is also from Indiana, along with the 12 car of Trevor Haley, all from Indiana. Awesome to see those guys out here. As we continue to go around, we might have a couple cars on pit road trying to finalize their services and get back caught up around this beautiful virtual Talladega Super Speedway. Well, let's see. While we still have time, we'll see if anybody else got caught up in anything the first 5 laps as I scroll through my ticker over here on my app. Let's see what happened to John Miles. It says he crashed. We'll see what happened to him as they go around. Here we go. Let's see. Let's try to get a better camera angle. There's John, the 88. He's drifting up. The 88 sticks his nose in there. I mean, the 88 had the position. I just don't know where he thought he was really going to go. The car was still a majority in front of him. Huge driver's side impact. Actually going to roll the car over for John. That's a reason he had to tow. He went a couple laps down while the field was at full speed. You'll see it there. Let's get back to the live action. We should be getting ready to go green from Talladega. Let's see, the lights are off on the pace car as they roll down the back straightaway. I wonder if he's a veteran of the series, if he is already worrying about... Yes, he is. You heard him there. He's shutting off the car. He is already trying to save a little bit of fuel for this next stint. There he is, got the clutch pushed in. You see the RPMs jump when he gets back off the clutch there. Veteran move, trying to just save those few tenths of fuel. You will be surprised just how much fuel you might be able to get an extra lap or two out of the fuel cell. We'll check in with Kevin Dixon and see if he's trying to do the same thing here. Let's get my cameras back in order. Here we go. He is still rolling around here on the high side, also a veteran. He was probably already had the thing clutched, probably getting it back. It sounds like he's still in 4th gear right now. Just another way to try to save fuel. His RPMs are relatively low. Right there you hear 1 downshift, 2 downshifts. Yes, he was still in 4th. The RPMs spike up on the 009 car, so he was also in a fuel saving mode already as they get ready to approach the Geico restart zone. Blaine Snyder is going to take them to the green flag. We stay green flag until lap 30, so we will have at least 20 laps of green flag racing from here to the end of the stage. We will get everyone caught back up at lap 30. We will have a stage winner. During the stage, we should have green flag pit stops, and we should probably expect a little bit of chaos and a lot of guys moving. As you see, the 32 already jumped to the high side. The 009 is going to move up with the 17. They're going to try to work the high side in. The 11's a little out by himself. We'll see if the 009 tries to push. He does. He'll check up instead of causing some calamity as the 12 and the 1 car move to the high side. Here comes a big run for the 3.
Jerry Fassett also sitting right there on the bottom as we're 3 wide. Cato, the 09, is stuck on the high side. Cato stuck in the middle as the 12 car continues to lead him up to 4. Oh, a little bit of contact. Not sure if that was a block or if the draft just pulled him. We're now 4 wide in the trial. We'll give each other some room, boys. Work it out. Cato, Fassett, the 09, the 31. All 4 wide. That 88 needs to let the 31 back on the racetrack. He's not going to appreciate that. Show a little displeasure like, hey, man. Oh, into 31 to the 71. He's going to collect the 94, the 34, and the 70 machine. Ricky Miles barely gets through it as Christian Brandon. Also, these cars are going to need a faster pair. If they all work together, they might get these things and a line, and you never know. If there's chaos at the front, they will catch up to the back of the field before the end of the stage. But no worries, even if they don't, in 19 laps you will be caught all right back up to the leaders. As Trevor Haley continues to lead as he always does in dominating fashion. He seems to be a driver who always continuously leads the most laps around this thing, and this is one of the reasons that he was saving fuel earlier. If you plan on going to the front, you are going to use the most fuel out of everyone here, as Justin Lee Pearson and Zach Cato are trying to lead the inside lane forward. They start to march their way to the front here. The 58 pulls even with the 12, but the 6 car has fallen off. It's depending on who's managing their temps. It looks like the 6 is moving up, trying to cool his car down to try to get back to the bumper of Justin. As the 1 car got his car cool first, he's going to shove the 12 back out in front. They stay 2 by 2 behind him as they approach the tri-oval, and the guy up 24 positions already in the Ally Camaro number 8 machine, Nick Bauman, with one of his teammates right behind him, the 67. Well, I should say the painted 67 machine. Yes, 67 of Cameron Young's going to try to follow him through, and an awesome looking Miller car there. Alex LeBeau sitting here trying to get his run regathered up. He moves to the high side in the 25 the GMAC Chevrolet, sporting the old, I believe that was Brian Vickers running that machine. He spoiled one for Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. around here. One time several years ago, as you see, the 12 has now moved up to get in front of that high line, but that's not going to help the 009 of Kevin Dixon, stuck in the middle. They're starting to go backwards. You see the 25 still trying to get it done on the outside. Justin Lee Pearson is temporarily gone to the lead. The 12's going to move back down, and the reason you see these leaders moving around so much is the side draft is so effective on these cars. The rear spoiler is huge on the back of these things as we get a look at Justin as he goes around the racetrack. You see just how tall these rear spoilers are. Looking back at Zachary Cato, creates a big hole in the draft, and if you can get your nose alongside of that car and collect even more air on the side of that machine on the outside lane, chances are you will drag them backwards as they go around the lap car of 94. Let's see here if we can get another look from the back. There it is. You see some of these guys really try the side draft and get down on the side of these cars to get more air to the rear spoilers. Nick Bauman is going to try to find his way to the front. The 12 and the 1 continue to lead out front. The 8 car is going to try to get up in front of the 009, but the 09 is still there. 009 is still there. He's not going to give up that spot as Kevin Dixon now is making his run to the front with the 11 car of... Oh, man, I already forgot what... Blaine, that's who it is. He scored as the number 25, but he's in the Denny Hamlin car as they make the move in the trial. You should see Kevin Dixon try to get on the door of the 12 to help pull him backwards as the high line seems to continue to be the dominant line here. You saw it there. He tried to move down, got a little loose. They're going to draw even, taking the shorter line around with the 12, but the 009, if he can get the push back from the 11 car, he should take the lead going down the back straightaway. The 11's going to get the wall, trying to get back to him. You see the momentum keeping up. It's going to put Kevin Dixon out in front for now. We'll see how it continues to play out. We get a great shot of the cars. Now the 11's going to move to the inside. He's going to drop all the way to the bottom in front of Justin Lee Pearson. He wants to lead this thing. We'll see what he does now as he takes a point. Kevin Dixon had it for a second and then was ditched. I'm sure he will not forget that one.
Justin Lee Pearson now pushing Blaine across the line. He's going to lead a lap here in the 11 car with the 58 in tow. Zachary Cato, yet another great run for him, sitting in. He's going to move up in front of Kevin Dixon in the middle lane. Kevin's going to go to the low lane. It looks like we have no loyalties to minus the 12 and the 1. They're going to leave the 6 out there. We'll see if the 8 goes with Cato. And now the, the 009 and 12, a lot of moving. The Blaine Snyder car is going to get back in front of the 009. We'll see if he jumps even higher than him. The 12's going to look to the inside with James Smith. Man, we have movement all over in the top 5. The 009 squeezes back in front of his teammate, and the 1 car going to try to push the 12 as we approach the tri-oval to complete lap 17. You're getting a great look at these drivers as they go. The lead pack still all right here. We have a lot of 2 wide, a lot of 3 wide. As they approach a lap car, we have to figure out where Ricky Miles is going to go. He was caught up in something, got his services done. He's going to try to jump on the tail end of this pack and ride out until everyone make their green flag pit stops, and then he will be right back out. As you see him move by the 12. The 12 has now gone above the 11, but the 009 stays with the 11. They're going to send the 12 car to the back. Justin Lee Pearson's going to move back up in front of Zach Cato. Zach Cato got a little bit too much of a run. It's going to shove him out. And that's going to trap him behind Ricky Miles. Slower traffic. The 8's going to try to push the 12. Gets him a little out of shape. Justin Lee Pearson's going to scrape the wall trying to check up. Man, we have movement going around as Blaine Snyder still tries to keep his car out front right now. He's going to continue to lead the 009 right behind James Smith. Zachary Cato recovers. He keeps his car up in a P4. It looked like he was going to drop to the back. He found a lane to get back in. Now the 12 and the 8 and the 17, the Dark Horse cars are all lined up. They got all 3 teammates. They're going to try to move the front. James Smith says, I'm not riding P3 right now. I'm going to put the 1 car up in the front. And if you were here early enough to catch some of the earlier highlights, you would know this 1 car has had a lot of success. He has pulled off a couple wins over the last few nights, including here at Talladega. Last night in Daytona earlier in the week, the 009 is going to now move up in front of his teammate, leaving the 11 car to fall back to Zachary Cato. Woo! Man, I'm going to need oxygen by the end of this thing. If they're racing like this for lap 20, we'll see what they do. The 12's going to jump to the inside, leaving his teammates. Now the 8 goes with him, but the 17's going to still be stuck on the outside. The 12 car wants to get back to the lead. I don't think anybody's saving fuel right now. There is a lot of movement. A lot of guys will take you on board with a couple of these drivers as they go around. We'll get the vantage point of the 17 car here. See what he sees out this thing. He's 4th car in line. As you can see, you cannot see much. And I guess it really depends if you have triple monitors running on one screen, what you have your field of vision is set at. But either way, that doesn't make a huge difference here in Talladega, as the rear spoiler really obstructs your view of where you're sitting in the race car. You hear these guys breathing on the throttle. They're doing, well, let's see, how they're doing 197 mid-corner, 193, big checkup as some guys get out of shape. It's going to let the 12 car get back to the lead temporarily. You should see well over 200 miles an hour down the back straightaway, product of the trap. But if you are the car at the end of this field and you are laying a little back, you can see speeds well over 208, 209 miles an hour. But it depends. Do you have help to go with you, or are they 3 wide behind you and you just have nowhere to go with all that speed? It's just a product of these giant spoilers as we go on board with Stevie Baird. He is trapped on the inside. These guys just a couple feet apart. At some point right here, they are just inches apart. Really working the side drive. 009 is going to try to tuck down. He's going to leave James Smith out there. You see a couple lap cars. They found each other. They're staying linked up as we are heading to lap 22. I'm going to guess with the fight to the bottom, we are getting ready for green flag pit stops. Trevor Haley, you hear him lift as we'll go back with Justin Lee Pearson. He's a little further back in this thing, just hanging on. He's going to try to stay at the bottom. I have a feeling we are not far from green flag pit stops as we have done relatively close to 14 laps. And here we go. They're coming down to pit road. Here come the leaders. We'll see if we have any sliding. They're getting them checked up. You see the fire out of the exhaust as they downshift. The majority of the field is all in, and they make it on clean. Well done, drivers. The 8's in his box.
The Dale Earnhardt scheme's getting ready. Zach Cato looks like he may have slid his box a little further back. We'll check with some of these guys. LeBeau, the 94 is in. Most of your top 15 all coming in together. Actually, all the lead lap cars came in together. Every single one is coming in. We'll see what they do. The 12 and the 11 almost simultaneously coming off pit road. Wow. Well done, boys. There's usually a lot of chaos. Nick Bauman must have used a little bit of strategy. He gets out of pit lane first, followed by Kevin Dixon. Trevor Haley's going to be down to the 11's going to be down to Zach Cato, still riding there in the top 5. It really depends. Can you get on and off pit road with maintaining the gap of the car in front of you to keep the draft? This is where we might see some guys get spread out, but it looks like we have 4 and 4. Zach Cato isn't too far behind. The draft should pull him right back up as soon as he gets help from the 58, Chris Walden in the 3, and Peyton, another dark horse driver, in the 17 machine. Alex LeBeau is going to need James Smith to close up relatively quickly. The 3 cars behind him of Stephen Baird, Sean Stemmer, and Roger Buff need to close the gap up amongst themselves. They will eventually then run down the 25 and the 1, hopefully create a mega pack and start working their way forward. Nick Bauman continues to lead. We got Kevin Dixon riding P2, the 12. As you see, Justin Lee Pearson, that group has already caught these guys. They're moving to the outside, and they're going to try to march their way forward as we have less than 6 laps to go in the stage. We'll be coming to 5 to go. The caution flag, well, we can't throw a green, white, and checker flag here, so we throw the yellow to declare our stage winners. You'll see that yellow at the start finish line as they cross. Oh no, oh, Kevin is back. Just a temporary flash, which is good. These guys start getting side by side. Will only allow the second pack of Alex LeBeau and James Smith to start to run it down. You see the 3 cars behind him of Stephen Baird, Sean Steppen. They have gotten in line. They should quickly start to close on the cars in front of them, and hopefully that will lead them right back to the front. The leaders are a little ways out there, but they are not too far. You see Alex and James trying to get the toe off the car in front of them to keep their speeds up. You see here 204, 205, heading into turns 3 and 4. That is just how much air these cars are moving. You're going to hear the little bit of a checkup so he doesn't run them over. Nicely done. Now you're going to have a 5-car pack as the leaders continue to stay side by side. This pack will eat them up relatively quickly. It is amazing how a few seconds back in these cars, and you can really make up time. That's why we encourage guys to stick around. It is all about strategy. So it looks like they are 4.7 seconds back. If the leaders get side by side, they should run them down. But right now, relatively calm out front. Now you have some guys making some moves. Kevin Dixon may have had a little contact, starting to lose a little bit of touch with this lead pack. We'll see if he can keep the draft. He's got to get up there with that second line and catch that toe of the nearest car. Zach Cato must have had an issue, or we have seen this strategy out of the 6. He's going to pit with a couple laps to go. Maybe he can get himself to the lead. Coming to the stage, this is a little early for Zach Cato. Awesome picture, Zach. A service member. Awesome to have these AWRs. I believe all the AWR cars have served the country, which is awesome. One of the reasons we love having these guys here. As I see Kyle Cameron is in the chat. What's up, Kyle? Thanks for watching, buddy. As we go back up front, he scored the 25 amongst the standings, but he is in the 11 Danny Hamlin looking scheme. As you see here now, 3 cars at the bottom. Whoa, that was close between the 12 and the 009 as the laps are winding out in this stage. Let's check the progress of James Smith and these cars. It looks like they are down to 3. Not sure what happened amongst these 2. If they got to side drafting, it will pull them right off the back of them. But even with these leaders side by side, James and crew have already made up 1 second on the lead pack as Kevin Dixon has found his way back to the front. Zach Cato's coming off of pit road. He's going to try to get in with these guys. I don't think he's going quite fast enough to get that machine to
drag him up to this pack. He's going to fall back, but he's got to get his lap back as we are 3 wide now, heading into 3 and 4 as we are coming to the final lap of our stage. Nick Bauman making a move to the bottom, Kevin Dixon in the middle, Justin Lee Pearson on the high side. It's 2 versus 2 versus 2. Jerry Fassett could be the decider in who gets the stage and where he goes in line. As they continue to go around the racetrack here, we are on the final lap of stage 1. Justin's going to try to work the draft. He's starting to lose the 3 car on the outside. He's going to stick with the 3. The lap car here might give a tow to the guys on the inside. Jerry's going to go with the inside group as they head down the back straightaway. We still haven't seen many guys make up any ground yet. I can't believe the 8 and the 17 haven't got up there with their teammate. Oh, the side draft goes a little wrong. A little contact as the 12's going to get the 009 out of shape. That's going to turn the 8. That should leave this stage in the hands of Justin Lee Pearson. The 17 trying to hang on to it. Yes, Justin is going to have no pressure out the back. He is going to come away, and if that is how they're going to race and the aggressiveness for stage 1, I can't wait to see the end of this thing. Justin Lee Pearson, Trevor Haley, Peyton in the 17, another dark horse court. Stephen Barrett is going to pick up 4th the end of the stage, and James Smith is going to round out your top 5 with those guys going around. Well, we saw it all happening there. Let's go back if we see another look at this thing. A little bit of chaos going into the quarter here. Sometimes our app does not like to show guys when they clearly wreck. We'll see here. I believe this is Fred Anderson in his own wreck. Yes, I don't know if he just is unlucky and finds the remnants of this crash. No, that is just him going down pit road. So our app, let's see if it gets him as the 3 is up on the side. Yes, all right, we have found it here. You saw it live. Just a product of hard pushing. The 12 is going to get the 009, and it looks like the left rear. Yes, he's going to be a little too low. That's going to turn him down the track. The 8 car probably doesn't even see this hit coming. He steers to the left, trying to keep it going. The 09 almost has it, but the momentum of the 12 is going to, oh, wow. Now the 8 still just trying to hang on to that thing. And what a ride for the 3. Rips the whole front splitter off. Jerry Fassett's going to get a little contact. The 8's going to go for a ride, and until he gets the outside wall, he really hasn't hit anything until right there. You see the 3 doing his best Tony Hawk impression going around as the leaders are heading down pit road. We'll take a live shot of that. Wow, what a first stage as the leaders come to the service of their pit crew. Justin Lee Pearson, Trevor Haley, all coming in. You see Justin stop in his box. He gets in just fine. We'll see if some of these other 17s in fine. James Smith makes a good stop. The 11 car, another good pit stop for him. The right sides are up on the 12 car, so it looks like he's going to opt for, and the lefts have gone up now, so he's going to opt for 4 tires. I wonder if grip had something to do with a little bit of these cars slipping and sliding here. Christian Brandon's still going around. He's getting his laps back. Lonnie Buttry, we have seen him. He was caught up in a wreck earlier, but he is up 10 spots of his original starting spot. Ricky Miles going around, getting his final lap back. I believe he's only down 1. This should put him back on the lead lap. The 5 car has not had any luck so far. I don't think I have seen the 5 start a wreck, but he has sure been involved in some other people's mess. Kevin Dixon, not sure if, yes, he probably had to tow. I'm going to assume we didn't see him. He went off camera when he wrecked. He's just coming out of pit road. It doesn't show him a lap down, so maybe just some extended time, maybe a bathroom break while he's fixing damage, getting going. As the 87, we saw him earlier trying to short pit or take those 4 tires under the last yellow flag, or under green, I believe he took tires. So maybe under this stop he opts for 2 or none and gets himself back to P1. He has run up front several times this week. Let's see if he can pull it off tonight, as we'll take some scenic shots around this Talladega Superspeedway, and we will wait for the start of the second stage. The broadcaster needed to go and grab a drink after that first stage. A lot of action. You see the 12 car back on pit road. Wonder if this is a top-off stop or if he is just decided he needs to make some more in-car adjustments. We'll take a look. He's going in here. Maybe he's just topping off. Here, I don't see any tires going up, so yeah, maybe just a splash of fuel. His teammate is in the back. We see him right back there after that wreck Nick Bauman was in. So I think this is a planned stop for the Dark Horse cars. They are going to try to get their last little splash of fuel. Maybe they intend on not doing a fuel run this time. Now that they have maybe probably an extra half gallon of fuel on board, they are going to try to rocket to the front and use their extra fuels to keep that car up front of this thing. Well, the lights are still on the pace car, so we're still getting ready to get back going here at Talladega. If you didn't see the little, as I'm hitting buttons over here, if we didn't see the little promo video earlier, we'll go ahead and show you again just a couple things that you can expect and so far you have seen from the Talladega Superspeedway. We just want to take the moment to once again thank our sponsor of D&D Graphics. He has worked with a lot of these guys, including Ricky Miles, really setting up some awesome things. Ricky Miles, another guy who has done a ton of legwork behind the scenes here, trying to get us some more sponsors. There is more sponsors up and coming. I don't want to spoil the party just yet, but Ricky Miles has done a ton of legwork to get that up and going, as well as working with our sponsor D&D Graphics. Ricky is awesome. All the legwork he's doing behind the scene. He actually owns a bar down there in Florida, and he is going to try to get our live broadcasted main event races in a packed bar on a couple of his TVs, which is going to be awesome for the viewership, and maybe bring in a couple fans, maybe encourage some guys to finally go out and buy their sim rig and get their iRacing careers started off. Awesome job from Ricky Miles, much appreciated. He even brought in another broadcaster for me last night so I could get back behind the wheel. Very awesome job. I appreciate those guys for coming out and Ricky Miles going out and finding those guys and letting me have a chance to get back in the race car. We didn't have the night we were looking for. Somehow I still got back to, I think, 11th, but that was getting wrecked at the line. We were just outside the top 5 coming to the tri-oval, but chaos happens here at Talladega. As we get ready, the lights are out on the pace car. We get ready to go back green flag racing. Same rules apply as we start the beginning of stage 2. No yellow flags for the first 5 laps. If there is a caution within the first 5 laps, after the 5th lap, we will throw the yellow flag. And from there on out, we will race to lap 60. And then in the last portion of this race, we will have cautions as necessary. However, they don't get thrown back to back to back to back to back because nobody wants to sit here all night, do a bunch of racing, and follow the pace car around for the rest of the evening. We do have 3 green white checkers in our back pocket, always there, so that's another thing with only having a 40% fuel load. You have to keep an eye on your fuel. Last night, the 12 car of Trevor Haley, if we had one more green white checker, he wasn't going to make it back around, but luckily we only needed 2 for him. Great shot of these drivers and some of their paint job as Alex LeBeau is going to lead us back to green flag racing as he is in the Geico restart zone. The hammer is down, and we are off in stage 2 of S&M's broadcast tonight of their 80-lapper around Talladega. As a majority of this pack is nose to tail 2x2. The 58 is going to rocket to the front. The cooler temps on board will definitely help these guys push a little bit longer. You'll see some of them under caution stepping out, trying to get some more air to those cars to get them as cool as possible. We'll go on board with James Smith here. He is still hammered down on the back of Justin Lee Pearson. His temperatures haven't probably quite climbed high enough to start backing off. You should see it here soon. Usually after a yellow flag, you got about a lap to push a guy. That's what makes the green-white checkers even more interesting. The cooler temps after the yellow flag, these guys will really push. I'm surprised that James Smith is still on the back bumper. The cooler air temperature and racetrack temperature may also have played a effect on the engine temps. Now you hear a little out of shape. Good job giving him some room to hang on. I think Stephen Barrett is moving to the bottom side. Cameron Young in the 67 machine is going to follow these guys around. As it looks like James is still pushing them around as we are 3 wide now coming up out of turn 4. Stephen Barrett's going to jump to the lead off the nose of Zach Cato. James Smith is a little out of shape. They're going to scrape the wall. Jerry Bassett gets back out of it. Get your momentum going, Jerry, so you can keep up with the back of this pack. He tucks back in. We're not sure if he's going to be close enough to keep this speed. Maybe the 67 to 58 is also dropping back. They may help those guys regain the lead pack here as Stephen Barrett continues to lead us around this track. Zach Cato in P2. Cato has improved a ton. It will not be long before we see that 6 car go to victory lane in one of these S&M events. This weekend we'll be throwing on a couple other races besides our usual Talladega Daytona. We'll probably be going to Martinsville, Dover. Our Chicagoland races are usually fantastic. As you see the 6 car go to make the move, the 12 is going to go with him. Zach Cato's going to rocket to the lead. He's going to lead this lap around, taking it back from Stephen Bear. The 12's with him, Alex LeBeau and Nick Bauman up there in the top 4 as well. Zach Cato takes the lead. We'll see how long he can stay there if we get some more wild racing going around this super speedway like we had in the first stage. Taking a look back from the 6 car, you see the whole pack behind him. Trevor Haley's hands working in there, trying to get a little bit of air to the nose. You see the 25 likewise showing the nose. He's going to try to get some air to that machine. The car with the coolest temps is going to be able to push the longest. As you see the 12 and the 6 and the 8 go down, we'll see now the 8 and the 12, now that they're nose to tail, if they go try to leave Cato, no. The 8's going to leave his teammate, but then the 11's going to leave him out to drive, but James Smith says, okay, I'll go with you, buddy. Look at that. The side draft, the 1 car pulls on the 11 machine, pulled him just far enough off where it's going to leave the outside open for the 8. The 8 car with the momentum heading down the Talladega super stretch as they approach turns 3 and 4. Nicholas Bauman is going to take the lead off the bumper of James Smith, well over 200 miles an hour into turns 3 and 4. James is pushing excellent tonight. I gotta assume the cooler air and track temperatures are really helping these guys push a little longer around here, but you still need to monitor your temperatures. We have seen plenty of guys push a little too long, even coming to the white flag, the guy behind blowing up, causing a little chaos. As Nicholas Bauman takes the lead on lap 39 of 80. We are 1 lap away from halfway in this race. I have not seen a wreck yet. It looks like our top pack is everyone who's here. We might have Roger up. Nope, he is pulled off. Stephen Baird, yes, with that move earlier, has lost the lead draft. As you can see, the significant speed difference when you are by yourself. It looks like he may be heading down pit road. He may have a little wheel damage. He knows if he hangs around, he also will have another chance. John Miles has lost the lead pack. Jerry Bassett after that brush with the outside wall. But it looks like your top 17 is still here. There it is! There he is, Ricky Miles to the bottom and to the point. He's going to lead that lap around. Get back up there. There you go. Alex LeBeau pushing hard. Is Alex going to get a little out of shape? The 1 is going to push the 8. That's going to allow them to have a little bit more speed as Ricky falls to 191. You see the speed difference, 197 for the outside car. If you have somebody tucked up behind you, it really can make a big speed difference. Awesome. Ricky gets that lap led.
I was telling everyone the last few broadcasts, Ricky has not had luck, but now it seems like that luck is starting to change as they build momentum again as the 1 car is off the 8. He may be warm, the 25 pushing hard, trying to get Ricky Miles back to the lead. The 12's going to jump to the outside with Kevin Dixon. A great shot of Nicholas Bauman's hands working in that car there. As we have hit the halfway mark, we have 39 laps to go. Now the 12 working the outside lane with Kevin Dixon. These are some great shots of these guys going around this racetrack. That Cater's still the 3rd car in line on the bottom. The 88 machine back here, Jay Bryson. He's hanging on this back. Cato's trying to move up. It looks like Christian was there. Oh, we got some action. We got the 09, and a couple guys go around. That will bring out a caution. That will bring out a yellow flag. Maybe not this time, probably next time. Nope, they got it quick enough. The yellow flag is going to go out. That will make it interesting for this stage. They went a long way from the original green flag. These drivers were probably only a few laps away from having to do green flag pit stops. So now, after these stops, will they have enough to make it to the stage, or are they going to have to double pit this stage? That will make it very interesting. After we get these pit stops out of the way, we will interview a couple of these drivers, get their takes on the race so far. We got some people hanging out in general chat. We'll try to get them up in the broadcast booth. We try to give everyone their time around in the spotlight, as it looks like we don't have many guys in the chat tonight. This is not a usual broadcast at night. Friday night, this Discord is going to be packed. We are just shy of the 140 member mark. If you're watching this and you want to get involved with S&M, a lot of racing just like this. Last night was kind of a one-offer for us. A couple guys didn't get home in time to get into this one. We had a little oopsie. We accidentally restricted out the rookie drivers, which we have a couple of them who religiously come with us. I know they'll be back tomorrow night. We'll get our settings reset back right. Our Friday night main should be awesome. It's going to just be your regular drivers in here. Last night we had quite a few random drivers that didn't really adhere to the rules, or kind of the unofficial rules, and it led to a lot of chaos. Great shot of the leaders coming down pit road. Nicholas Bauman is stopping in his box. Kevin Dixon coming to the surface of his crew. You see the 6 car pull off. The 72 back there pulls off. Cameron Young is also in. The 21 car is in. It looks like everyone gets in pretty clean. You see the right side tires going up there on the 25. Peyton looks like he might be fuel only. The left side tires up on the 1 car as they start to make their way off pit road. The 17 is going to lead himself out, followed by Nicholas Bauman and Trevor Haley. So he's got his 3 teammates with him. I'm going to guess that was a strategy call to get those guys nose to tail. Kevin Dixon, James Smith, Zach Cato, Ricky Miles, Alex LeBeau, Jay Brinson or Bryson, correct me in Discord later. Justin Lee Pearson, Jerry Fassett, Lonnie Buttry, I believe is how you're going to say that name. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. That was awesome looking. Is that a Busch car? It is a Busch Ice car. That thing is pretty cool. Kind of like a grayed out regular Busch car. That thing looks pretty awesome. John Miles riding P313, Christian Brandon and his Red Bull Toyota. Cameron Young in that Miller Lite car. Sean Stamper, is riding in the 09 tonight. He is 16th. Matthew Brown in the 21 car riding 17th. 18th is going to be the 3 car of Chris Waldron. Is the 11 car down 17 spots. He may have topped off there. Stephen Baird also just coming out of pit road after topping off their service. So let's go ahead, while we have the time, let's bring in one of our drivers. Let's bring in the 009 of Kevin Dixon, one of the admins in here. Let's find him. Well, Trevor, oh, there we go. We were having some technical difficulties. Kevin, it's Craig up at the booth. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Greg?
Good. So far, the action has been wild. No one seems to want to be with their affiliated teammates tonight. It seems like a little bit of a free-for-all out there. A lot of action, a lot of passing. What's it like from the driver's seat?
We're just having some fun tonight, man. And racing it out.
Well, the racing has been awesome at the end of that first stage. That was wild. It was 2v2v2. It was kind of like the old tandem pushing days. The 12 car looked like he was trying to push it too hard, got a little out of shape. Now, my question to you is, we had a longer green flag run to start the second stage. We're kind of pitting almost towards the middle of this thing. Is it a possibility that we could see green flag pit stops before the end of this stage, or do we have enough fuel in the tank to make it the rest of the way out?
It's going to be close. I think we're going to be short, though.
Short. Oh, so you may have some guys in the back trying to save. You may have the leaders racing it out. Well, it looks like the pace lights are out in the truck. Sounds like somebody's having a bad time somewhere behind you. Sound like a lot of metal dragging back there. We'll get you back to the race car and the team chat for you, but good luck. Awesome to continue to see you up front, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
The 009 from Lake Stevens, one of the admins out here on the racetrack. There's several admins. There's usually about 11 spread out between two or three teams, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It might just be two, but trying to keep the fairness. A lot of admins looking out for just guys coming in here and just wrecking. We never want to kick anybody here at S&M, but if it's needed, we will get rid of guys to put on the best racing that we can for an appreciation for everyone putting out their time. You saw the 8 car inside the pace truck. I wonder if he's trying to steal a little of the AC from the pace truck there, trying to keep that thing as cool as he can in case somebody gets up in front of him. As we get ready to go green flag racing once again, this time around when they get to the Geico restart zone, we are just going to let the cars do the talking. We will move to the crank it up camera. Hell, let's do it now. You see the leaders are getting ready. We will finish this last part of this stint under green, and here we go. They're in the Geico restart zones. Let's go crank it up. As you see, the top 19 are under a blanket. They are all within 1.5 seconds of each other. The 17's got his teammate behind him, still trying to lead this thing on the high side. The 12 is trying to put the pedal to the floor with the 1 on the inside. He's going to come up and corral the 8. You see the 8 trying to be a little cautious, maybe also needs a little air. The 17's going to jump out of line and get in front of his teammate as Nick Bauman's going to rocket to the lead. Now does Kevin Dixon stick with the 8 car here? Oh man, these guys are really racing tonight, having a bunch of fun behind the wheel. You heard it from Kevin Dixon, and it has put on some awesome action for us watching up here in the booth and everyone on YouTube. Watch it out again. Appreciate it for everyone on here. It looks like we have 17 or 18. Not a bad crowd for a Tuesday evening. It's just after 11 o'clock. Can't wait to do the Friday night show, as it looks like the 009 right now is committed to the back bumper of the 8 car. I'm curious if they end up clearing that inside, if he was to leave them, but it looks like Peyton has other ideas. He goes to the point temporarily through the front part before they get to, the front stretch before they get to the trial. It's going to be close coming to the line this time. It looks like the 8 led that lap, but here comes the 17 back on the inside. The 8, the 009's a little out of shape. He might just be hot as the 12 now jumps up in front of the 8. He's going to try to lead this thing this time around. Woo! We got action all over the place. Let's go back here and back to the rear. Still 3 wide with Matthew Brown, Chris Waldron. Do you see the 11 car starting to make his way back to the front? Some great shots here. Some awesome looking race cars. Alex LeBeau is at the tail end of this field. Cameron Young is also trying to make his way up to the front as he's 3 wide with the 25 and the 58. The 09 is up there on the high line. They're going to try to get that line working as we complete lap 48. We have 11 to go on the stage. There goes the 009. You see how fun the 12's going to move down in front of him. That's going to shuffle the 8 car backwards. We'll see if Cato can get up there as these cars start to bottom out a little bit. You saw those sparks flying out. Now the 12's going to work both lanes of traffic. Does the 8 go with him or say, no, you just left me? That's exactly what he does. He says, you just left me last time. Welcome to the sucker hole. You're now in the middle, but now he drops down. Oh, the 6 trying to follow him. You saw the contact there. I don't know if he knew if he was clear. That's going to hurt the 8, though, because now he has no help. Stephen Barrett is going to be pushing the daylights out of the 6 as they start to catch the lap car. Ricky Miles must have gotten tied up in something else, but don't expect him to stay there. He will be back in this thing. You already saw his car up front leading this thing. Oh, no, as he gets stuck in yet another one. The 8 car is sideways with Cato. There's chaos all over. A couple more cars, Stephen. Oh, John Miles in another one. The 72's in it. We only have 10 laps to go on the stage. Wow. All right, let's see if we get a look. I know we're going to miss a little of the green flag action, but that's okay. We are not going to get another chance to come back and look at this thing. Let's go back and see if we can find out what happened. The 8's going to get a tap. Oh, the 6 is going to try to move down. Ricky's a little far down the racetrack for a lap car. It's just going to squeeze those guys. That's not Cato's fault. He's just trying to avoid running over the back of Ricky Miles there. As the 69 and 58, the 71 start to get sideways from that same wreck. It's just going to chew up and spit out John Miles. He almost goes over. The 72 is going to take a hard lick to the outside wall there. The 69 is going to come back around again as well. The 58 is going to make it through this thing. But after all that, Kevin Dixon has found his way to the front. We only have, well, when we come into 8 laps to go on the stage, we'll get that yellow flag for this stage and catch everyone right back up before the end of this thing. Let's see what Stage 2's finish has in store for us. The end of Stage 1 was wild. We have some guys we haven't seen up in the front just yet. We'll see what they do, including the 3 car of Chris Waldron. The 88 is also made his way up to P4 right behind our CEO, James Smith. We'll see what he does. The 88 looks like he may have wanted to go up in front of the 3, thought better. He wasn't quite clear yet. He is clear now. Does he stay there? Does he move? The 12 is not content staying in his 7th place running position. We'll see if these 3 guys can get it. 12 looks like he might be warm, showing the nose, falling off the edge of the 3 as Kevin Dixon continues to lead this thing. Let's go a little further back. Christian Brandon has found Alex LeBeau. It's just a 2-car tandem. Mr. Young is by himself. Stamper has found Nick Bowman. That is a guy that you want behind you if you're trying to catch some cars in front of you. Zach Cato got back going after this thing. Justin Lee Pearson is all by themselves. It's going to be a long 7 or 8 laps for them to end this thing. It can be boring, but as you can see, the finish usually ends up being awesome. Before the end of this thing, especially with the cautions as necessary, it will keep everyone up. It looks like the 12 has got the 3 up to the lead. He's beating the back up. You see the sparks from the contact. The 009 is going to try to fight back on the inside with the 17 getting him a little out of shape. There is a newer setup on board these cars. It is a little freer. There's a little bit more play in the wheel. So it'll be interesting to see. The Peyton is a little close. Oh, the 3's going to try to chop down in front of the 12. The 12's going to try to ditch it, but the 3's going to end up clearing him and getting in front of him. And that's going to bring the 21 of Matthew Brown to the high side with the 11. Denny Hamlin scheme of Blaine. He is in there. He's going to try to make that high line work as they continue to argue of who's going to be the Stage 2 winner. The other thing to keep in mind is these cars who were caught up in the wreck, if they do not go down a lap like Justin Lee Pearson might here before the end of this thing, like guys like Zach Cato, he's on the front straightaway. If he gets his pit stop out of the way before the end of the stage, they could cycle through to the lead as the 21 car has cleared that inside line. He is going to lead himself a lap, and barring no crazy moves here at the end, the 009 says, no, not so fast. I'm going to lead this lap back around. It's going to be too close to tell who got that one. It was very close. It looks like it actually looks like the 21 got scored the leader for that lap, so he's going to get himself a lap led. Man, when we finally get a league organized and posted together, man, races like Daytona and Talladega are going to prove pivotal for points. If you could even just get yourself up front for one lap, the 21 is up 3 positions from his original starting spot. As we come to, we will have 3 laps to go in the stage as they come around the line this time around. Man, I'm putting my money on the guy to come away with stage 2 in the 1 car. He is quiet. He hasn't gone too aggressive just yet. We'll see what it has in store. It looks like 3v5 here on the high lane versus the low lane. We are coming down to it. Excuse me, we still have 5 laps in this stage. It should be, no, I am mistaken. I believe we have 80 laps in this thing. Let's see if we get this thing back right. I am not. Oh, I'm over here just hitting buttons. Oh man, the 11, the Trevor Haley is going. The 11 ducks on the pit road. This could be the end of the stage here. I'm not 100% sure. I lost track, but right now Trevor Haley comes to the line. He's going to lead that lap around. I believe we had an 80-lap race. If I remember correct, it should be lap 60. It's only telling me 24 to go. I like when it gives me the full display of how many laps we have. As it looks like the 17 is in, the 11 car went down pit road. They're going to try to knock some pit stops out before the end of this thing as we are counting down the laps to the stage. I believe right now, yes, there are some guys that are not good on fuel. They're going to make their way down pit road. It should be 4 laps to go in the stage as the leaders come down. Now we're going to see where the 17, the 11, and some of the guys who already made their pit stops, we'll see where they cycle back out as the 12 is in. Well, I'm going to assume with they saying they're just going to be a little short in the stint, it's probably going to be fuel only. We'll see if anybody wants to get tires while they are in. The 12 is pretty far back in his box, so no, it's just going to be fuel only. The 12, he may have taken lefts there, a little longer pit stop. James Smith is just getting out of his stop, so some guys might be using strategy to try to keep themselves out front for the final stage. Kevin Dixon almost goes around getting off pit road. He is out there pretty far by himself. That is not going to help his case, as it looks like the cars who were your earlier pitters of the 17 and the 11 car, which I'm going to guess that is a father-son or a brother's team. They are just going to come flying by the 009 here. No, they're going to check up and pick up the 009. Maybe they're just trying to position themselves to pass him here on the last lap of the stage. Now we should have 2 laps to go on the stage. Yes, we should have 2 laps to go before the end of stage 2. Let's take a look to see if anybody else cycled back out. It looks like we're at 3v3. They're going to have a hard time catching those guys as Kevin got so far out in front of them with a shorter pit stop. Maybe he took a little less fuel. Maybe the 12 took some tires. I'm not sure. We're going to have to ask some of these guys as we are coming to 2 laps to go in the stage.
As they come through turns 3 and 4, Kevin Dixon continues to lead. Followed by the 11, the 17, the 12, the 1, and Christian Brannon in the 61 has found himself just outside the top 5, as well as the 88. The 3 car did not cycle out where he wanted to be coming out of the pit, so he's a little further behind as the caution flag is out now. Unless my ticker is wrong, that could have been the end of the stage right there. That had to be because they made the move. So we'll go back live. Looks like Kevin Dixon is going to be your stage winner, stage number 2 winner, I should say. The guy we checked in with earlier is going to get it done. As you see the lap cars getting their laps back, they'll be under yellow. So stage winner number 2 will be Kevin Dixon in the 009 car. The leaders make their way onto pit road here. We'll see what kind of strategy eventually ends up paying out for the guys who may have lost the touch of the top 3 there. We'll see if anybody's fuel only, who fell a little further back, had a little longer stops there before the end of that stage as the 12 car's in. He's going to take it easy in his box this time. You see rights going up. Wonder if it's going to be a right side only pit stop there for the 12 as the 11 gets off pit road first with the 009. The 25 again plays the pit strategy card. He's going to come out third. James Smith fourth. Trevor Haley is going to lose a few spots on pit road and fall to 5th. The 17 of Peyton and Justin Lee Pearson is going to be in 7th. Sean Stamper and Jay Bryson and Zachary Cato still hanging on inside the top 10. Let's go ahead and see if he is in here. I don't see Cato in his chat tonight. Let's bring in this guy. He's been hanging out in our general chat. We got to figure out who it is. It's Craig up in the booth. How's it going, buddy?
Around the line this time around.
You got a copy, brother?
I put my money on.
How's it going?
There he is. How's it going, buddy? Who are we talking to? We don't have your name in Discord.
This is the 21 car, Matthew Brown.
Matthew Brown, there you are. Well, you found yourself up front earlier in the race, led yourself a lap or 2. How's it going for you behind the wheel this evening? And are we going to see that 21 car back up in the lead before the end of this thing?
You know, it's kind of crazy. I'm still getting used to these cars. They move around a lot when you're getting pushed or pushed in. I'm just trying to stay clean and make it to the end with these guys. There's some pretty good racing going on up front.
Yeah, there has been some action up front. Well, there is a new setup. It's only about 2 days old under this thing. We've heard a couple drivers echoing those exact words as we see some of the leaders top it off. You faked out the couple cars behind you there, but they have echoed the same thing. It's a little loose, giving a push or taking a push. I was in the late race last night. It's my first time on the setup, and I have kind of the same opinion on it. It seems like there's a little bit of play in the wheel. I know we have another setup coming out probably later. It's going to tighten up the suspension a little bit, but so far you yourself has put on some great racing. Hopefully we're talking to you in the top 5 at the end of this thing. Good luck, Matthew Brown.
My first time onto the setup, and I.
Yeah, appreciate it. Y'all enjoy the finish.
Thanks, buddy. All right, Matt Brown there in the 21. We got to get his name put up in the Discord right now. He's just got some numbers up in there. but I should be able to remember now who that is. Matt Brown in the 21 car. The lights are off on the pace car. You saw some guys go down and top off on fuel. So we will give one quick bother to this guy here in the 12 Pennzoil machine. Trevor Haley, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good. How are you?
Well, it's the racing and the show that you guys have put on. We heard Kevin Dixon earlier saying, yeah, no one's really being friends out here right now. We're all kind of racing and just having fun. Is that going to change here at the end, or are we going to continue to see the swapping of the lead, the lane changes that we saw in the first two stages?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it could go either way. Just have to see.
All right, well, hopefully everyone who's watching will stay tuned in. We are heading to the end of this thing. My ticker kind of messed up. It didn't tell me what lap out of we were, so we kind of missed the end of the stage. I know we're going back. Green flag racing now, so I'll drop you back in there and let you race out the finish of this thing.
All right, thank you.
Trevor Haley in the 12 car, another Indianapolis guy. We touched on one of them earlier, as Kevin Dixon is going to lead them back to the Geico restart zone to take the final stint of this race. We will have yellows as needed. We'll be able to check out the wrecks when those yellow flags come out, but as it appears right now, we are in the Geico restart zone. Kevin Dixon's going to lead us to 18 laps to go from Talladega. You see it here live. The 61 rockets the lead, but just for a moment as the 12 has gotten back to the back bumper of the 009, and one of the guys we just talked to, and Matthew Brown, gave the 61 the lead for just a minute, and then they fell back. He may have got a little too warm, as we have some great racing further in the back. We are 3 wide in the middle of this pack. You see Nicholas Bauman there with Justin Lee Pearson going to try to lead up the middle groove here. Oh, the 21 falls out of line. That's going to make him 4 wide. Going down the back straightaway. He should be able to tuck in behind Justin here and go back 3 wide. You see Mr. Miles up there in the 69 machine. He is going to try to also get to the high side. Ricky Miles just coming out of pit road there. Kevin Dixon continues to lead this thing with Trevor Haley and James Smith in the 88 of Jay Brightson. Another guy, he was in the back earlier. We saw him hanging around getting some track position at the tail end of that second stage, and now he finds himself in P4 with only 16 laps to go in this thing. Right now it seems like the top 6 have calm down. They want to run single file, keep their position. It doesn't look like anybody's trying to show their nose too much. Zach Cato decides, I'm going to the front. He's going to try to get in with Justin Lee Pearson, who was getting a big shove from the 8 car. I don't know if the 8 knew that the 6 had dropped down right there. But Cato is going to rocket that machine through the middle of 3 and 4. He's going to take a lead for a moment with the push from Justin Lee Pearson, as the 009 and the 6 are going to be nose to nose coming through the tri-oval. Big move out of the 6 from the push of the 58, and Zach Hayes will lead that lap around as the inside lane starts to move, and the 58 and Justin Lee Pearson is shoving the daylights out of the 6 car. The 6 car has cleared the 009. Does he move up? Does he stay with his teammate? It looks like he's going to stay right there at the bottom of the racetrack and try to continue to lead this thing around. Let's go ahead and go on board with a guy a little further back in this action. He's right in the middle of things. We'll get on board with the 17 car and just see just how much these cars are moving. The drivers are saying there's a lot more play in the wheel. Hayden is a great driver, though. You shouldn't see too much movement of the hands, so it is going to just be aero. A lot of air, like we talked about earlier, moving around in these race cars.
and it's just going to cause your car to move and your hands to slightly react. It's not so much the bumping, not being able to hold the line, what a lot of guys call out, just a lot of air movement with these cars. As you see them moving through the corner, it's hard to just stay tucked up right behind somebody. The 6 is a little out of shape. Big checkup for the inside lane there. Peyton looks like he's going to be able to clear that as we have one car off the track a little further back. Looks like he's going to be able to tuck it back in line there. John Miles hanging around. Sean Stamper is also still right there. So that moment that they had a little bit down the back straightaway, they got it all sorted out. And the 11 car tandem here, we got to figure out if that's father, son, brothers, cousins, nephews, but I see them in the chat. They definitely know each other because they're sitting in the same chat right now. He's going to take the lead with only 13 laps to go, and Chris Waldron has also found his way in that 3 machine back up inside the top 3. Justin Lee Pearson, as Nick Bauman goes to make a big move and get up in front of Zachary Cato, trying to relead that outside lane. The 3 looks to go, but he thinks better of it. He's going to stay on the inside as the 8 car is going to lead the outside line back up and almost even with the leaders going into turn 3 and 4. The action is all over the racetrack tonight. The 009 going to stay close. Zach Cato with a big push to the back of the 8 machine. Zach Cato is going to say, see you later, guys. We are going to the front. The 6 and the 8 came up, and they go to the front. And Nick Bauman will lead this lap around. Now we'll be curious to see what Cato does. Does he want to stay here? I think that's his best option right now until it gets a little bit more help from some teammates, maybe some non-affiliated drivers. But it doesn't matter. We said it earlier. These guys are not working with just their teams. We saw the 12 show his nose. He's going to fall back. The 88 is there, and if I know these drivers, they are probably working the radio right now saying, hey, we got a bunch of, oh, James Smith is going to go around. James Smith is going to get caught up. Oh, big save. No, oh, big shot. Oh, we have carnage. That is the biggest wreck we've seen. Oh, the 16. Oh, my Lord. What a move by the 69 of John Miles to get through this thing. Wow. He came in at full speed. We are under yellow. We're going to have some guys tow after some big hits there. I want to go back and take a look at this thing from the eyes of the 69 car because, good Lord, he rockets through this thing. Let's take a look from him. You see the big hits up. He's out of the throttle. He's trying to eye up a spot. Just turns out he got Justin there. Wow, nice job, John. We talked about it in our last broadcast. If you just check up, you can drive through the wreck instead of driving in at full speed. He goes from running in like the 16th or 17th position up P9 by just simply getting out of the throttle. Here, you heard it. He didn't slam on the brakes and slide into it. He eased out of it slowly and got himself through that wreck, picking up a ton of track position. Well done. We'll go back. We'll try to take another look at this thing. I know it starts up here with James Smith. Let's get the camera up on him. Let's rewind. It loves to catch things in the middle of the action. It looks like this could just be a product of a triple bump. The 09 runs into the back, and that could just be a product of the side drive. The 1's going to get to the left rear of the 09. It's going to get him a little out of shape. It's going to get the 1 car a little bit loose. And the 88 has nowhere to go. You can tell by his speed difference. The 88 was lifting, but there's just nothing he could do. Sometimes here at Talladega, it just happens too fast. It looks like they had it saved, but that huge transition from the flat apron to the, I believe we're up to almost 32 degrees of banking, helps kick that car back around. Peyton goes around. The 67 almost drives underneath this crash as the 1 car is on top of him. The guy we talked to earlier, Matthew Brown, involved. The 61 of Christian Brennan. The 72 almost gets through it. He doesn't have too bad damage, so he may have picked up. And here comes that 69 car we talked about. Trying to find, he turns under, then he's like, oh no, there's another. You see his hands hard back over there. Some spectacular shots here. Some of these cars tore up, but they have fast repairs. We had the leaders on pit road, so we will go see how that cycled out. And actually, one of the guys we just saw in that wreck, well, he's going to come out P2. No, he took his fast repair and fuel, so he's going to go tail end of the longest finish line if he went a lap down. Zach Cato's going to still be right behind the number 8 machine of Zachary Cato. I think Bauman owes Cato a little bit of a thank you for rocketing him out there. The 25 has stayed out of almost everything tonight. He's been involved in a couple things, but nothing too bad. He finds himself sitting P3. Trevor Haley. Trevor Haley's pulling up, maybe having a little conversation with the 25. Maybe there's a dispute in the running order, but they'll get it all sorted out here. As we will try to go in here, and we will try to bring in Mr. CEO. I know he's trying to get his laps back right now, so we might catch him while he's still wheeling this thing around. James Smith, it's Craig up in the booth. How are you, buddy?
What do you say, mister?
I say you guys are putting on one hell of a show right now. I mean, there has been cars moving up, down, sideways. That was a pretty spectacular yet hard lick for you. The 67 almost drove under you, and you ended up on top of him. I know it's probably hard to tell when you're airborne in the car, but it looked awesome.
Me and Craig and Trevor and Nick's been up here talking the whole race, just saying how much this has been a blast, and it has been.
Yeah,
a lot of green flag racing, and I really didn't want to get wrecked with 9 laps to go, but
well, the laps are winding out, but it doesn't look like we have too big of a field, and if there's anybody who's an expert of finding their way back to the front, we've seen you up front all week. What's it going to take now to get back to the lead?
Well, I'm just going to have to find some teammates out there and just do a little bit of zigzagging and get my way back to the front.
Little shake and bake, little bob and weave up there. It looks like you got Ricky Miles, who just got his lap back. He should be right there with you, so we'll see how you guys get back to the front. Good luck at the end of this thing. You still have, and they're still in the pocket, those green-white checkers also might help you and if those guys get a little too aggressive in front of you up there.
Yes, sir, buddy. We're going to give her hell, buddy.
All right. Good luck, James. We'll go ahead and we'll bring in the guy that we're focused in right now, Ricky Miles. Ricky, it's Craig up in the booth. How's it going, buddy?
It's going all right, man. I got into 2 wrecks. I don't think it was my fault, and then my computer froze up about 3 or 4 times, and I don't know what's going on with it.
Okay, that explains it because we saw the 5 car leading this thing earlier. We were wondering, and all of a sudden you were going a lap down. That explains a little bit of computer issues. I know you've been battling with that lately, but if you can stay connected, how are we going to get that 5 car back up there and put it in victory lane? You going to work with James Smith to get back to the front?
Well, I just know that I can get up there if this thing don't freeze up. But one thing about it, when I get off of this thing tonight, tomorrow it will be something different in here.
All right. Yeah, you've been battling those computer issues, but if there's anybody who pretty much knows how to tear a computer down and back apart, it's you. So hopefully you get that sorted out. Fingers crossed it stays with you for the rest of this race. I know we're counting down the laps here. Good luck to you, buddy. Hopefully we'll see you in victory lane at the end of this thing.
Buddy.
We also have one guy in our chat right now. As you see the leaders going back, green flag racing. They're approaching the tri-oval here. We will make sure we don't miss a second of that. But if Mr. Timothy, if you're listening, I'm going to drag you up here for the last few laps of this thing as your cars are going back green flag. Another one of the Dark Horse tandem team drafting, getting the Dark Horse cars back up front as we have 8 laps to go. Tim, careful, son. Are you there at your mic?
Yes, I am, buddy. What's up?
What's up, buddy? Well, I wanted to drag you on here for a couple laps. Don't know if you're watching the broadcast. I know it's a little delayed behind this thing, but you still have your 2 Dark Horse cars once again up front. How proud are you that these guys continue to showcase the Dark Horse team and put these cars up front?
Well, I don't expect anything less. Actually, I've been watching the broadcast, taking some notes with this new setup you've been talking about here. So it's actually been a pretty entertaining race. Actually, that last wreck that just happened, the 11 had an awesome save. I don't know if you saw that.
We'll have to go back and take a double check of that. There was a couple almost saves that led to a couple cars upside down, but thank you for watching the broadcast. Thank you for what you do for the Dark Horse team. we'll let you get out of here before the end of this thing so you can enjoy all the action going on as the 25 makes a big move down bottom with the 88. The 11's going to go with the high side. The Dark Horse cars continue to lead this thing. We'll check back in with you and get your reaction to the end of this wild race.
All right, good job, man. Keep good to work.
Thanks, buddy. All right, the 8 car continues to lead this thing. That was the Dark Horse owner of Timothy Porter. He does awesome work for us guys in the Dark Horse team, coordinating things, getting some sponsorships on the back end for just the Dark Horse guys, which is awesome. That should pay dividends even into this league. A couple of his drivers aren't here tonight, including myself, because obviously I'm here in the broadcast booth. But we are down to 6 laps to go at Talladega. The front 5 are single file, but oh my Lord, behind them, they are getting crazy. They know their time to get to the front is running out. You see Justin Lee Pearson up there trying to get that third lane working again with the 3 car of Chris Waldron. He's pushing. The 21's going to squeeze him a little bit, but they hang on to it, but that's going to kill their momentum. Trying to get that going. You see the 25 still trying to get that bottom to work. The leaders are staying calm for now. It's funny, we are coming to 5 laps to go, and this is probably the calmest the top 5 has been all race. I don't think they want to make any drastic moves just yet to try to ruin their track position, but the 21 car, we talked to him earlier, Matthew Brown is going to try to make that inside line work, and he will if the leaders don't move down. If they can get teamed up while the leaders are still stuck on the high side, that's the spot you need to be. Oh, the 11's going to make a bold move. He's going to make it 3 wide. We'll see who goes with him. Now we have some mixing up in the top. You see Kevin Dixon showing his nose. James Smith, the guy who just said he's got to bob and weave and shake and bake to get his way up there. He's found his way back to the front as the middle is starting to make up ground on the outside. We'll see if Zach Cato can stay tight to the bumper of the 12, and the 12 can stay to the 8. The side draft is in effect for that 11 machine. The 009 pushing Justin Lee Pearson, and the 3, we said they were trying to get that high line to work. Now that they have help, and it was working out, but the 3 car's going to get the outside wall again. It's going to split up the guys there on the top. That's going to lead to a better run for the guys on the bottom. They are almost nose to tail. The 11's dead even with the 12. Now he's going to pull up alongside of the 8 as they head into turns 3 and 4. Coming to 3 laps to go. The 11 car with a huge push from the 009 is going to get the nose of his car out front. We said it, they seem to be a little bit hard to hang on to while you're shoving or pushing. They get a little sideways there as we have a yellow flag. We must have had a crash a little further back. We must have missed that one. We'll go back. We'll try to find what happened there. That is going to set us up for green, white checkers. Now it has been a while since we have seen some cars down pit lane. This could be exactly what Ricky Miles and James Smith needed. They just went in and they pitted, they topped off. They are probably good to the end of this thing. Some of our leaders, I'm not sure, we may have missed that pit stop, but we will try to find the graphic and see when the last time some of these guys were down pit road. It looks fairly even. It looks like all these guys have been in relatively all at the same time. James Smith there looks like he might only have a lap of extra fuels. I see the bubbles a little shorter, maybe 2 laps extra fuel on board, but if they do need to go down pit road, that will just make the pit stop even shorter for the 1 car who has shaked and baked his way back into the top 5. Awesome job for him. You see, it looks like we're getting about 16 or so laps on a full tank. You see it there in blue after the first yellow flag. It must be the difference between yellow and green flag pit stops is what I'm assuming. The color changes mean maybe that's not accurate. We'll see if anybody decides to come down pit road right here. It looks like the 11 is going to fake. The 009 is going to show fake. They are not going. We'll check it a little further in the back, see if anybody else wants to top off on any fuel. No, these guys must think they have enough fuel for the end of this race. Let's see if this graphic does us any better here. Let's see here. Nope, same graphic, just hidden in there. So these guys must be confident that they have enough fuel for the end of this thing. We didn't
find what led us to be under yellow flag under our app here. Something must have happened a little further in the back that we just were a little out of camera shot to see. It looks like the whole field is here though, and we are getting ready to start this thing back off as a green-white checker. It looks like we may have had some guys. Peyton, yes, Peyton in the 17 just went in the top off. John Miles topped off. Jerry Fassett, Christian Brannon went in and topped off on fuel. So they decided they might see 3 green-white checkers. These guys might be flirting with running out. If it looks like 16 laps, it looks like these guys have already put 8 or 9 laps on this thing. So you get 3 green-white checkers. That's an additional 6 green flag laps if you make it there, and then plus how many ever laps you need to turn under yellow. Obviously you're using a little less fuel under yellow flag, but nonetheless you can still burn almost half a gallon of fuel riding around this 2.66 mile super speedway under yellow flag. Well, the stage is set here. The lights are out on the pace car as the leaders are coming through turns 3 and 4. We got Blaine, Nick, Trevor, Kevin, James Smith in your top 5. Zach Cato is right there as well. Matthew Brown is still hanging around. We got the 3 of Chris Waldron. Cameron Young is here. Stephen Barrett is there on the inside, restarting P7. The guys are working on doubling it up in the back. It looks like, did Ricky, Ricky Miles is still here with us. Good job, buddy. He's hanging in. He has been battling some internet and computer issues, but he continues to come back, still on the lead lap, as here we go. We are in green-white checker territory as the 11 of Blaine is going to take us to the Geico restart zone. The hammer is down. He goes late in the box, trying to catch some guys, maybe try to cheat the start, but it looks like the 12 and the 8 anticipated it well. They are door to door, but they have no help. Now they have Stephen Bear to go up there to the top with them. Now, can they get themselves established on the high line and side draft hard on that inside lane? Justin Lee Pearson, Zach Cato, the 3 car of Chris Waldron have all gone to the top. That is not going to be good for the 11, the 009, or the 1. They might get freight trained here on the back straightaway as they go into turns 3 and 4. Kevin Dixon is pushing that 11, trying to keep him there. He's going to draw even with the 12. We are coming out of turn 4. It looks like we have no chaos on the racetrack. So unless something happens here in the next few hundred feet, we are going to be taking the white flag. Here it is. As Nick Bauman crosses the line, we are 1 lap to go from Talladega. The 3 car in the back of the pack has gone around. I believe he has taken Justin Lee Pearson and Lonnie Butchery with him. We'll get a look at that later. James Smith is ducking out of line. The 8 car continues to lead Nick Bauman. Trevor Haley pushing hard down the back straightaway. The 369 looks like he wants to spoil the party. He's right there. What does he do coming to the end? Zach Cato is still hanging around. The 3 needs to jump up above that 12 and get him off his teammate. We're going to have a big move by Stephen Barrett on the inside. The 8 and the 12 are going to push coming down here to the tri-oval. As we approach the finish of this thing, it looks like it is going to be Nicholas Bauman taking yet another win at Talladega. Mr. Talladega himself grabs another one here from Talladega. What a great race. What a good finish. I expected a little bit more chaos here at the end of this thing. The 2 Dark Horse teammates working together to keep their team cars up front. You're going to see, I thought we were going to get the teammates spinning them out here at the end of this thing. We'll get your final results here at the end of this race here. It hasn't quite updated just yet for us, but we are going to have to drag in and talk to our top 5. It's looking like here it is. Here is your final finishing result here from the Talladega Super Speedway. Come on, graphic, work with me here. There we go. We're a little far back. Let's get it back to the first page here, graphic. Come on, work with me. Well, tonight it doesn't look like it's gonna work. Of course, it wants to be difficult as we go through. Here we go. There, Nick Bauman, Trevor Haley. Christian Brandon cleats him out while he's trying to do his burnout. Oh, I love it. Nick Bauman, Trevor Haley, Zach Cato grabs another P3 finish. Yet another P3 for him. Stephen Barrett, a great run for the 369 car, comes home P4. Blaine Schneider, I keep saying Snyder, they're going to yell at me. They're obviously related. Peyton already yells at me for saying the last name wrong. Comes home P5. James Smith recovers the 6th. Kevin Dixon P7. Jay Brinson in the 8th position. Cameron Young. Peyton rounds out the top 10. Christian Brandon is going to finish 11th tonight. Ricky Miles recovers. Looks like his computer issues did not stick with him there for the end of that race. Comes home 12th, Sean Stamper, 13th, Jerry Fassett, 14th, John Miles. In the 69 machine finishes 15th. Alex LeBeau is going to be 16th tonight. Chris Waldron and Matthew Brown. His luck runs out at the end of this thing. He is going to finish P18 tonight. Let's see if we can get the drivers in this thing. My graphic is not working with me tonight. So we will just go over the top 18. We'll try to figure out who and what happened during this one. As you see the 8 car burning it down there with his teammate, the 1-2 finish for the Dark Horse cars. There they go. They're going to go ahead and try to burn it down. We'll see if we can. There it is. Burn it down. While we're at it, we will just drag them both in as they are bouncing the cars off the chip until they blow it up. The Dark Horse team yet again 1-2. Congratulations, Nick Bauman, Trevor Haley. What was it like behind the wheel there at the end?
Pretty tense. I blew it up. Everybody was just going for it that entire race. That was a ton of fun.
Yeah, it put on one heck of a show. Trevor Haley, are you tired of seeing the 8 car bumper when you go across the line yet?
Yes and no.
It always feels good to help a teammate out and grab a win, but you also have had some success here lately. It looked like the racing was much, much better tonight. What was it like from behind the wheel for you guys? I mean, it looked intense. You said it was intense, but what was it like just hanging on to these cars going around the racetrack?
It was a lot of fun. Everybody was just going for it. Nobody wanted to just ride in line. Everybody wanted to lead and get up front. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, we talked to the car owner earlier. He was very happy that you guys were up front, but he sat there and he told me that's what's expected from you drivers. 1-2. That's a tall task to live up to, and yet again, you guys do it. Congratulations on the 1-2 finish.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let's see here. Zach Cato's not in, but I definitely want to give a shout out to that 6 machine as he came around sideways at 009. The 1 car sideways, the 11 car's heating the outside wall on that one. Stephen Barrett in the 369 is going to grab himself a P4 finish. Nick Bauman is going to also not only win this thing, but be the biggest mover of the race, starting from 30th position. He finishes 29 spots up. Zach Cato also must have found his way right behind the 8, finishing 23 spots up. Stephen Barrett 18 spots up. So it is possible. If you stick around in these things, you will definitely have a shot to win, as we said earlier. Blaine in the 11 car smashing the inside wall is going to finish in 5th position. Let's see. He has already disconnected from chat. It is late on a Tuesday night. A lot of guys have work in the morning, so I don't blame him for not sticking around. But let's bring in the car owner of the Dark Horse cars yet again. He ends up leaving. He's hiding. He doesn't want to be interviewed again, but we'll get you again. Careful. Don't you worry. So while we're at it, let's bring in the CEO and the co-CEO of Ricky Miles and James Smith there. Well, tonight went a lot better. A lot more action on the racetrack. A little smaller field, but it seemed like the racing was much better. Are you guys happy of the result that keeps getting put out on the racetrack?
Man, we had some good racing tonight, buddy. I mean, just flat-ass good green flag racing.
Yeah, that was awesome. Ricky, it looks like your computer stuck with you there at the end. You picked up almost almost 9 positions there on that green-white checker. So you were moving to the front there at the end of that thing. I'm glad the computer stuck with you for that one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, man. I got in 2 wrecks in the beginning, and I mean that was nothing I could do there. And then I like, man, I got to get away from these wrecks, and ended up then I got when I went and made that run to the front on the bottom, on the inside, then under caution, I went in the pits, came back out, and so when I came back out, I was just riding, and all of a sudden, while the car was idling, it just locked up, and then I had to go back in and tow about 3 times. So that really killed me and kept me laps down all night. But I'll get it straightened out. It's just kind of aggravating. But the last lap, I said, man, just hang on for 1 lap. Let me at least get another 1 good lap in.
There you go. Well, I mean that shows how committed you are to the racing and to the whole S&M organization, the whole community of drivers sticking in there, battling through that. Hopefully tomorrow night goes a little smoother for you guys. Great run here tonight. Very entertaining. Great job.
Greg, we appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, guys. All right. Well, that should just about wrap it up for us tonight. Thank you, Matthew Brown, for hanging out. He also fixed his Discord name. I see that. Got up there and got the lead a couple times. Looks like he may have got caught up on something in the last lap there. Finishes 1 lap down in the 21 car. Thank you for coming out. You stick with it. You're going to find some guys who are going to work up with you. I'm sure before the end of this thing, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 13 teams. So hopefully you could get in a team or start your own and team up with some guys out here. It's awesome to see some more guys start coming out more regular, as we're not going to let them slide. We found you. You disconnected the first time. 1-2 finish for the Dark Horse cars. I wasn't going to give you a build up this time. Wasn't going to let you run away. You expected them to be there, and they pulled it off yet again.
Yeah, I was wondering if Trevor was going to make a move there, but I guess when the 3 pulled out of line, he said, I'm going to stick with his teammate. So, but like I said, I expect those 2 to run up there every time they're racing. So, they're all good.
All right. Well, we won't bother you for too long. We just had to bother you one more time before you try to sneak out on us. Thanks for coming out, and thanks for watching the broadcast, buddy.
No problem, man. Good work out there. Keep it up.
Thanks, buddy. All right, well, that should just about do it. You see the finish there. You saw the chaos coming to the flag, but you also saw some fantastic racing as the night went on. Another shout out to D&D Graphics for taking care of all of us here at S&M. Some more things in the works for S&M, some more sponsors. There'll be some money races coming up. There'll be a championship. There could even be some trophies coming up. So thank you everyone for yet again coming out and showing your support. Thank you for Jepson Jepson saying, check the yellow coming to the line. Oh, he's talking about Bowman. Bowman had a tire the other night below the line. We almost had to put in a Nick Bowman rule. Bauman, I keep saying Bowman. Nick Bauman rule there, but wasn't needed tonight. He was up there on the high side. James, thank you. Also, Careful's in the comment section. Some of our drivers are in the comment section. Juan Escamilla is also in the comments section. So it's awesome to see everyone up in there tonight. Well, we should be back at this. Well, I know the drivers will be back at this tomorrow night. We may be broadcasting somewhere else. We might just get in the car for tomorrow night. You see the finish here. Another great race from Talladega. Thank you for everyone hanging out. We will see you next time.